Hello everyone. Topic of my presentation is obfuscating DSP hardware accelerators in C systems using pseudo operation mixing. Here is the outline of my presentation. Introduction followed by Trojan threat to hardware and preventive control against Trojan threat, existing related work, then discussion on proposed work followed by motivational example, then results and analysis followed by conclusion. Then finally I will answer to TPC questions. So coming to the introduction, consumer electronic systems such as laptop, camera, tablets, mobile phone uses a system on chip underneath. The system on chip integrates a number of reusable IP cores. These reusable IP cores can be of data intensive type or can be of non-data intensive. Further, digital signal processing hardware accelerators are the key components of a system on chip employed in a C system. These DSP hardware accelerators can be put under the category of data intensive IP cores. This is because they are used to perform highly computational intensive tasks under stringent time constraints. Now let's come to the role of DSP in consumer electronics. Consumer electronic systems such as laptop, digital camera, LED, etc. The DSP hardware accelerators are used to facilitate various applications such as image compression, decompression, encoding and decoding of audios and videos, and filtering out of unwanted noise and so forth. And in these applications, the popular DSP algorithms that are used are finite impulse response filter, discrete cosine transform, infinite impulse response filter, discrete wavelet transform. These DSP algorithms are available in the form of their algorithmic descriptions such as C, C++, their transfer function, their mathematical relationship, and so forth. And these algorithm descriptions can be transformed to the corresponding data flow graph representation. Thus, obtained data flow graph representations are fed to the high-level synthesis process in order to generate the register transfer level circuit. Now, coming to the Trojan threat to the hardware. The Trojan threat arises because of the globalization of the design supply chain. Due to the globalization, various offshore design houses and foundries are involved in the design process. Therefore, and these offshore entities may not be trustworthy and adversely present there may secretly insert hardware Trojan into the design. Thus, Trojan infected design when employed in the C devices may cause some critical failures such as excessive heat dissipation, battery explosion, denial of service, and performance degradation, and expiry of the C systems within warranty period, and so forth. Therefore, in order to ensure the reliability of C systems and the safety of end consumers, it is highly important to secure the DSP hardware accelerator designs against the Trojan insertion threat. Now coming to the preventive control against Trojan insertion threat. Obfuscation is one of the security mechanisms that can be employed to prevent against the Trojan insertion. And the obfuscation algorithm can be employed at different abstraction levels of the design process, such as high level, register transfer level, gate level, layout level, etc. Now coming to the types of the obfuscation approaches. The obfuscation can be of two types, the functional obfuscation and structural obfuscation. Functional obfuscation is an obfuscation approach where the functionality of the design is logged by using some key gates. This functionally obfuscated design cannot be reverse engineered by an adversary without knowing the correct key of the design. Therefore, the adversary fails to insert the malicious logic into the design. Further, coming to the structural obfuscation approach, where the design structure is obscured by applying some structural transformation into the design. Thus, structurally obfuscated design is harder to be reverse engineered by an adversary. Therefore, he cannot deduce the original functionality of the design and he fails to insert malicious hardware Trojan logic. This is how the obfuscation approaches can be used to secure the hardware accelerated designs. coming to the existing related works. First, let me come to the functional obfuscation based related work. Approaches number 3 and 5 propose some functional obfuscation techniques to secure the designs by locking the functionality using some key gates. However, these approaches have some limitations, such as because of involvement of the keys, these approaches are vulnerable to attacks such as key sensitization attack, removal attack, and set attack, etc. Moreover, the valid keys can be compromised by the adversary. If the valid key is known to the adversary, then the purpose of the functional obfuscation is defeated. Additionally, these approaches results into significant design overhead. This is because of the integration of the extra circuitry in order to lock the functionality of the design. Now coming to the structural obfuscation based related work, where approach number 6 proposed high-level transformation based structural obfuscation, where some high-level transformation using loop controlling, redundant operation, elimination are applied in order to structurally obfuscate the design. Further, approach number 7 proposed an image hologram inspired structural obfuscation, where two design architectures are integrated together in order to obfuscate the DSP hardware accelerator. Further, approach number 8 proposed the transformation based structural obfuscation to secure JPEG compression hardware against solid insertion threat. However, these approaches also suffer some limitations, such as applicability of these structural obfuscation approaches depends on the nature of the application. That is, the number of operations in the design and the data dependency between the operations. Therefore, these structural obfuscation cannot be extensively be applied to all kind of DSP applications. Therefore, in order to address the limit, in order to overcome the limitations of the existing related work, we propose a novel structural obfuscation mechanism using pseudo operation mixing, where the pseudo operations are mixed along with the original operations in the design in order to obfuscate the DSP hardware accelerators. The proposed pseudo operations mixing based obfuscation approach is capable to provide very high security at minimal design cost overhead than similar previous work. The proposed approach is accomplished in following 3 steps. The first step is determination of pseudo operations or pseudo nodes to be inserted into the design. Then mixing of the pseudo operations into the scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph. Then binding of pseudo operations to the already available FU hardware resources based on the proposed binding rules. Now coming to the design flow of the proposed pseudo operation mixing based obfuscation approach. Here, input to the proposed approach is a data flow graph representation of DSP application. The data flow graph representation can be obtained from the algorithmic description such as C, C++, code, transfer function, etc. The data flow graph representation is fed to the security aware HLS process. So first of all, the scheduling and resource allocation of the data flow graph is performed using resource constraints and module library, which generates scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph. This scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph is fed to the proposed pseudo operation mixing based structure obfuscation, where the proposed approach is accomplished in 3 main steps. The first step is the determination of the pseudo operations. The next step is mixing of the pseudo operations into the scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph. And then next step is to bind the pseudo operations with the already available FU hardware based on the proposed binding rules. Once these pseudo operations are mixed into the design, the data path and control synthesis phase is performed, which generates a structurally obfuscated register transfer level design of DSP cores. So now coming to the first step of the proposed approach, that is determination of pseudo operations. So this algorithm starts with the initialization of a variable. This variable I keeps track of the control steps of the scheduled data flow graph. And in the scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph, in each control step, the number of the multiplier, it is checked whether the number of the multiplier unit is less than the half of the multiplier constraint. If it is so, then the algorithm returns one pseudo multiplication operation and the respective control step number. Further, in each control step, it is checked whether the number of adder instances are less than the half of the adder constraints. If this condition satisfied, then the algorithm returns one pseudo addition operation and the respective control step number. So this process is repeated for all the control steps of the scheduled and resource allocated data flow graph. So once this algorithm is completed, we get a list L of pseudo operations, and which contains the pseudo operations and their corresponding control step number. So once a list of pseudo operations is determined, the pseudo operations are inserted into the scheduled data flow graph in the respective control steps. The mixing of the pseudo operations performed based on the proposed mixing rules. In the proposed mixing rule, pseudo operations corresponding to the first control step in the list L get the primary inputs, and the pseudo operations corresponding to the remaining control steps in the list get first input from the pseudo operation and the another input from the original operation that is available in the preceding control step. This is how the pseudo operations are mixed with the original operations of the design. When the pseudo operations are mixed, the these pseudo operations are associated with the existing FE resources, and this binding of the pseudo operations with the existing FE resources is accomplished using the proposed binding rules, which are as follows. First, for all instances of each FE resource type, the mux and required mux and demux sizes is determined. Then a pseudo operation is allocated to that instance of respective FE resource type whose corresponding mux demux has maximum number of unused or free input outputs. If the respective mux demux doesn't have any unused inputs or output, then the pseudo operation is associated to that instance of the respective FU type which has occurred least number of times in the scheduled data flow graph. This is how the pseudo operations are associated with the already available FU hardware in the scheduled and data flow graph. And the proposed binding rules ensure that the mixing of these pseudo operations in the scheduled data flow graph would not result into would result into minimal interconnect overhead post data path synthesis. Now let's understand the proposed approach with the help of an motivational example. So the proposed approach is being explained with a sample data flow graph, which is a very smaller size and which has only 5 operations. However, in real DSP applications, the number of operations are very large. However, for the sake of the brevity and the simplicity, the proposed approach has been demonstrated using very simple data flow graph. So the first of all, the data flow graph is scheduled based on the resource constraint of one adder and one multiplier. So this is the data flow graph. This is the scheduled data flow graph, and then we apply the algorithm of pseudo operation determination, and that algorithm returns this list, the list of the pseudo operations and the corresponding control step number. In the control step number 1, the pseudo operation 1 pseudo addition operation can be inserted. In control step number 2, again a pseudo addition operation can be inserted. In control step number 3, insertion of pseudo operation is not possible, and in control step number 4, pseudo multiplication operation can be inserted. So once these operations are inserted, so we can see here the scheduled data flow graph post mixing these pseudo operations. Further, the pseudo operations are associated with the existing FU hardware. Since the resource constraint is one adder and one multiplier, therefore the only available adder unit is used to bind the pseudo addition operations, and the only available multiplier unit is used to bind the pseudo multiplication operations. So this is how the pseudo operations are mixed into a scheduled data flow graph and associated with the existing FU hardware. So once the pseudo operations are mixed, data path and control synthesis phase of HLS process are applied in order to generate the corresponding register transfer level circuit of the design. Now coming to the prevention against Trojan insertion attack using proposed approach. The Trojan can be inserted in untrustworthy foundry by an adversary by reverse engineering the functionality of the design. Once the attacker succeeds in succeeds in finding the original functionality of the design, he can easily insert Trojan at safer places. So, however, the proposed pseudo-precision mixing-based structural obfuscation hinders the process of reverse engineering, and this is because the process of reverse engineering becomes harder for an adversary because of mixing of these pseudo operations with the original operations of the design. Therefore, an adversary gets deluded and he fails to deduce the original functionality of the design, and he becomes unable to insert the hardware trojans into the design. The impact of the proposed pseudo-operation mixing on the RT data path can be seen in terms of more number of times sharing of FE resources through muxes and demuxes, and changes in the interconnectivity of the FE resources. The pseudo-operation mixing based structural obfuscation approach can be used to secure the DSP hardware accelerator designs against hardware trojan insertion threat. Now coming to the result part of the proposed approach. So first, let me discuss the security analysis. The security of the proposed approach has been analyzed in terms of strength of structural obfuscation, which is the ratio of affected gate count with respect to the baseline gate count. The affected gate count is calculated as a summation of the gate count of affected resources post obfuscation and difference in gate count post obfuscation. So here this table reports the strength of obfuscation and compares the strength of obfuscation with respect to the strength of obfuscation of a related work. Here this can be seen from the table that the proposed approach is capable to achieve very high strength of obfuscation compared to the related work. Moreover, the related work, that is approach number 7, is not applicable to all kind of DSP applications. This is because for this approach to be applicable, two DSP applications should have some similarity in their algorithm. That is why the approach number 7 is applicable to only limited number of applications. However, the proposed approach can be extensively applied to all kind of DSP hardware accelerators. Now coming to the design cost analysis of the proposed approach. Here is the formula of calculating design cost, and this table reports the design cost post structural obfuscation and pre-structural obfuscation. Here you can see from the table that the design cost overhead for most of the applications is almost 0%. This is because the available FE resources are capable to accommodate the pseudo operations, and there is no need of extra mux demux in order to bind the pseudo operations. However, in some cases, the mux demux size may require to be increased. That leads to some marginal design overhead. Now coming to the conclusion, a pseudo operation mixing based structural obfuscation approach is proposed to secure the DSP hardware filter designs against Trojan insertion threat. The proposed pseudo operation mixing based approach can be universally applied to all kind of DSP applications irrespective to the nature of the application. Moreover, the proposed approach is capable to offer very high security at minimal design cost overhead than related works. Here are the references. Now coming to the TPC questions. The first question is, do you have any real examples of hardware trojans and how they affected the C industry that you could share with the conference participants? Okay, so my answer is One of the example of hardware Trojan is Trojan in encryption hardware, where an adversary can secretly insert a Trojan in an encryption circuit in order to enable the leakage of the secret keys. Another example is NVTI stress-based attack, which can be triggered in order to enable excessive heat dissipation and device degradation. This kind of attack has been demonstrated on DSP cores in an IEEE potential paper. So because Trojan can be inserted in consumer electronics hardware, therefore end consumers may lose trust in consumer electronic systems, thereby affecting the consumer electronics industry. Okay, now coming to the next question, which is how does obfuscation affect the time to market for new chip designs? Okay, so my answer is an obfuscation approach is employed when an obfuscation approach is employed in a design, then certainly it it leads to a design time overhead, which depends on the obfuscation algorithm and the design phase at which the obfuscation algorithm is being applied. Further, if the obfuscation approach is integrated with the high-level synthesis process, like the proposed approach, then it leads to negligible design time overhead. Therefore, it hardly affects the time to market for new chip designs. Thank you. Thank you very much.